Hello students, let us begin with the next content of the chapter, that is motion in a straight line. Till now we have learnt about the meaning of various variables which will occur when we read or when we study the motion of an object along a straight line. That is, when we are taking into consideration the kinematics concept, whatever variables will occur, it's a meaning, how it is represented graphically, that we have seen in the previous lecture. Today we are going to learn the important equations of this chapter known as kinematic equations of motions. Means whenever I represent motion of any object, I will need the variables, that is different variables which are there: displacement, velocity, acceleration. And when we relate these three components together, we will get certain equations. And by using those equations, if we know one variable, we can calculate the other variable which is unknown for us. So these equations are very, very helpful if we apply the concepts whatever we have learned. So the first equation, second and third. So overall there are three equations of motion. So for that, what we will do, we will consider object. That object had displaced by certain distance in some given time t. When we started measuring the value, it had already attained certain velocity. So let's consider V0 is the initial velocity of the object when we have begun taking the readings for time. And note down the time reading when the velocity of the object reaches V, and that V is known as final velocity of the given object. When the object is moving, let us take into consideration that the object is uniformly accelerated. Uniformly accelerated means the value for acceleration throughout the motion will remain constant. It is not changing at all. Okay, so the velocity upon time ratio, if you take, the value will remain constant. And when we plot a graph for a uniformly accelerated motion, when I take a velocity versus time component, I will get a nature of graph in this manner. So here what we have taken time factor which is along the x-axis, the velocity factor is been taken along the y-axis. So Vt graph for acceleration, again it is uniformly acceleration, therefore I will get a straight linear line. The object had already some initial velocity V0, therefore I have begun my reading or line from this point. If I measure the reading at the initial only, I would have drawn the line from here. Let us consider the object had attained some initial velocity at the beginning only, therefore the nature of the graph will begin from this point. Okay, so this is the nature of graph which had begun. Now the object attains some V0 velocity, it moves, attains some final velocity, that final velocity is equal to V in some time t. Now to relate the velocity components, time component and its acceleration, we need to consider whatever things we have learned till now. The first point we have learned is, whenever I want to find out the velocity from displacement versus time graph, I have drawn a slope to the curve. So in a similar manner, if you want to find out acceleration, we need to draw slope to the given line, then we will attain the value for acceleration. Now here, this is the line. To this line, I will draw a triangle to obtain the value for what? Acceleration. So let us name this triangle to be ABC. Okay, so triangle ABC is obtained, and if you find out the value for the slope of this line, automatically you will get the reading for what? Acceleration. So from the graph, if you want to find out acceleration, that acceleration is equivalent to slope of Vt graph, that is velocity time graph. Here I have taken the velocity along the y-axis, time has been taken along the x-axis. So slope of Vt graph will give you the value for what? Acceleration. And from this, how do I find the slope? Slope is nothing but a ratio of y component to the x component. So y component here it is BC and x component is AC. So BC divided by AC if you take, you will get value for what? Acceleration. So acceleration is equal to BC divided by AC. Now to obtain these values, we will just extend the line like this. We have drawn a perpendicular from this point. Similarly, draw a perpendicular from here and let this intercept your x-axis at point D. At point what? D. Now if you want to find BC reading, it is directly we won't get it. So what we will do, we will take the reading for BD minus CD. Automatically you will get the reading for what? BC. And BD is nothing but B and the CD is nothing but B0. So B minus B0 you will get the reading for what? BC. Therefore what I have done? BC is equal to your BD or BB minus DC. And similarly AC is this component. And that component can be replaced by OD. It can be replaced by what? OD if you want. So I will write here O. Further, so acceleration is equal to your BB is nothing but V, BC is nothing but V0 and OD is T. So therefore A is equal to V minus V0 divided by T. So let us consider this equation to be equation number 1. And from this I will get what? V minus V0. Take this denominator over here. So it is equal to 80. So V minus V0 is equal to 80 or V is equal to V0 plus 80 means I have shifted this V0 term over this side. The negative sign will now change to positive. Therefore V0 will become plus. So plus V0 plus the other factor that is 80. So V is equal to V0 plus 80 will give you the equation. And let us name this equation number 2. So here we have obtained one important relation, that is V, the final velocity, V0, initial velocity, A, acceleration and time t. So these 4 components are related by the equation. And this equation it is called as first equation of what? Motion. It is called as first equation of motion. So here how many factors have been related? The velocity factors, the acceleration and the time factors are been related with each other. So if you know acceleration, if you know initial and final velocity of the object, then you can calculate the time taken by the object to move. In the similar manner, if you know other components, that is V0 is known, acceleration time is known, we can obtain the value for final velocity of the object. Remember, this is the case for what? Uniformly accelerated motion. This is the case for uniformly accelerated motion. Then we will go with the next component, that is the displacement. How your displacement is related with the velocity and time, that also we have seen in the last class. That is, if you want to find out displacement from the velocity time curve, we need to find out area being covered by that line. Okay, so here this is the line A, B and the area being covered under the line is this. Okay, so if you find out area of this structure, automatically you will get the value for what? Displacement attained by the given object. So displacement attained, it is equivalent to area under VT graph, and that structure is what? It is a trapezium. So this is a trapezium, consists of 2 parallel lines OA and DB. They are being separated by certain perpendicular distance. So this structure, whatever I have obtained, is a trapezium. So if you want to find out displacement under this line, it is nothing but area of the trapezium. Let us take the trapezium A, B, C, D, O. So area of the trapezium, if you calculate, automatically you will get the reading for what? Displacement attained by the given object under motion. So displacement x is equal to area of the trapezium. And this trapezium can be now again divided into 2 structures. One is this rectangle, that is ACDO, and the triangle ABC. So if you find separately the values of area of the triangle and area of this rectangle, automatically you will get the whole area of this triangle, that is your trapezium. Okay. So area of rectangle ACDO, that is ACDO plus area of the triangle ABC, area of the triangle ABC. And we know the formula for area of a rectangle, that is nothing but length into breadth. So here this is the length and that is the breadth. So area of the rectangle is equal to OA into OD. That is OA into OD will give you area of the rectangle. Similarly, area of the triangle is obtained by the formula half of base into height. So this is the triangle, this is the base AC, this is the height BC. So half of AC into BC will give you what? Area of the given triangle. So we know the component values here. OA, what is this? OA is nothing but V0. OD, where is OD? OD is nothing but T. So V0 into T is this factor plus half of BC. Where is this BC? Already we have calculated the value for BC. BC is nothing but V minus V0. So this is V minus V0 into AC. And AC is nothing but OD and that is nothing but time T. Therefore, X will be equal to V0 into T plus half of V minus V0 into T. Clear? Now, V0 plus into T as it is plus half of. And this V minus V0 can be replaced by A into T. A into T from which equation we have taken? From equation number 1. So here V minus V0 is nothing but A into T when we simplify this. So I have replaced V minus V0 by the component what? AT. So AT when I replace it, I am getting what? The equation to be as AT into T. Therefore your displacement X will be equal to V0 into T plus half of AT square. Here the component which is extra being added is your displacement. So displacement is again related with velocity, time and acceleration. So X is equal to V0 T plus half of AT square will represent the second equation of motion. It will represent what? The equation of motion. That is the second one. Similarly, we will now relate the remaining components in this manner. So for that, I will apply another formula for area of a trapezium. So trapezium formula already we know. It is nothing but half of sum of the distances of those two lines which are parallel to each other into the perpendicular distance between the two parallel lines. So here the two parallel lines are AO and BD. So if you find out the length of these lines and the sum into the perpendicular distance between them. So the perpendicular distance is this, either AC or OD will give you the perpendicular distance between the two parallel lines of the trapezium. So when I apply this formula to the displacement, it is equivalent to area of the trapezium. It is replaced by half of dB plus OA. So dB plus OA into the perpendicular distance that is equivalent to OD. Therefore, you are getting dB. dB is nothing but V and OA is nothing but V0. So V plus V0 is this factor into OD is equivalent to what? Tan T. Now to simplify this equation further, we will again take the help of equation number 1. So from equation number 1, we have obtained the value for time T. When we simplify, so T, if it is taken here, T is equal to V minus V0, this A will shift down, so divided by A. Thus, I have replaced the time T by V minus V0 divided by A, acceleration. So further, if I simplify, I am getting the component like this, that is V plus V0 into V minus V0. These are in the form of A plus B into A minus B, and we know the formula for A plus B into A minus B, and that is nothing but A square minus B square. So what is the formula? A plus B into A minus B, and it is equal to A square minus B square. Now this formula I have applied here, and thus I have obtained the value for half of 2 into this A, so therefore 2A. And when I simplify this applying the formula, I am getting what? v square, that is nothing but your a square, minus v naught square, that is nothing but your v square. So half of 2ab square minus v naught square will be equivalent to your x. Thus x is equal to this, or when I shift this 2a over this side, I am getting 2ax is equal to v square minus v naught square, or when I shift this v naught here, I am getting what? V square is equivalent to v naught square plus 2ax. V naught square plus 2ax. Let this equation be number 4. And this is called as the third equation of motion. Here, the components which are related are the final velocity, initial velocity, acceleration and displacement. So, we have learned about 3 important equations of motion which will relate the components as an initial velocity, final velocity, displacement, acceleration and time. So, these all components are being related by the 3 equations. That is equation number 1, v is equal to v naught plus at. Equation number 2, that is x is equivalent to v naught plus half of at square, and the third equation, that is v square is equal to v naught square plus 2ax. So whenever we are solving any numerics related with that, these 3 formulas are applicable over there. So by using these formulas, we are going to find out the readings for unknown variables. The remaining content of this chapter we will be dealt with the next class.